Hey rock stars, welcome to video 2 of module 1, Purify. So this video, we're going to be working on releasing your inner world and outer world. So anything that's no longer authentic for you, we're ready to sweep that out of your life.
So what are your favorite ways to work in your inner world?
So working in our inner world, there's just so many tools, right? But we want to give you some key ones that you can just work on your own. So I think journaling is super powerful. I know I get clients that are like, I just don't like journaling.
Right, all the time.
But it's just so powerful. Your heart meridian runs through your arms, and so it runs through your fingertips. Your fingertips are the ends of so many of your meridians. And so when you're writing, it really activates, it's like recircuiting your whole energy field, and it gives your body a way to dump energy that it no longer needs. So a nice exercise is just taking 3 pages, 3 blank sheets, and just writing out, dumping out anything that you no longer need, and try it for 41 days.
So, and I think when we talk about journaling, it's not like this nice poem writing, right? It's like you're cussing, you're mad, you're crying. It doesn't matter what's going on. It has to be authentic. I think that's the real important part of journaling. It doesn't have to be pretty. You can burn the pages, you can throw them away, but really what is the important part is just getting it out. Right? And it's not suppressing anymore. Most of the time we are not taught to express ourselves in our childhood. And sometimes you may be in a relationship or a situation that you still don't feel safe to do so, but that doesn't mean that you can't put it on paper.
I love that you're it's not about crafting something perfect. It's really about exercising yourself and expressing yourself in new ways. So when I'm driving in the car, I make up these songs and I just sing from the top of my lungs, because your joy consciousness that needs a space to exercise and release as well. Or if you're someone that never feels anger, then your exercise is to express the anger. So take a pillow, punch it out, scream it into the pillow. It's we gotta get that fire going, because if you're not accessing your anger energy, then I would assume you might be feeling there's some slowdown in your life, you're not fighting for yourself, or there's not enough movement going on. And so it's there's all these different aspects of yourself that you want to take time to clear out of your energy field.
Right, and for me personally, my car is my safe space, right? It's kind of soundproof, and so you can just scream. I would scream all the time when I was going through a really, really hard time in my life. And it's just again, it's don't suppress those emotions, because emotions aren't bad. Anger isn't bad, it's a tool. It just shows you where you're at, but that doesn't mean that you need to stay there.
Yeah, I always say better out than in, right? Because if that emotion is locked up somewhere in your body, then it's creating some type of garbage in your system. This sounds a little extreme, but before, so pre-Soulit Sam, I had acne all over my face, my chest, my back. I had pain all over my body. I had headaches. I never felt anger. I didn't even know what it felt like. And finally it came through, and I was what is this? And I had to work through all these emotions and just moving through and getting it out, because I'd always been taught, or actually I saw my mom being angry, so I chose to never be angry. And so we have to look through what are some vows, programs, beliefs, limiting beliefs, things that are really holding you back from your Soulit expression. And when we say Soulit, it's when your whole body is just so alive with your spirit, with your beingness, with your essence, and many of us are just understanding that, a little glimmer of it, and we're just stretching you a little bit more so that you can experience even more of you.
And I think journaling and crying and screaming is just such a good way to release those expectations that other people have for you, right? Especially as a healer, you're supposed to be perfect and calm and feminine and just this you have this pretty picture that you're supposed to be. But in these little exercises that you can do anytime, you have 5 minutes, you can journal, you can really be more authentic. You can be this is who I am, even if it's not perfect.
Totally. And when you're going through like a grieving process, like I invite you to get cozy in a little couch, or a chair, have some tea with you, light a candle, play some soft music, and then just bundle up and just cry it out. Like give yourself like this really cozy, comfortable space to just let all the emotions out. And maybe you want to tell everybody like, hey, I'm going to have a little crying party by myself, just letting you know. And it's not about any of you guys. It's just something I have to go through. And then you provide this safe, sacred space for your body to go through the emotions that it needs to go through.
And I think some other tools that are really good when you're working through this like stagnant or dense energy is sage, right? Palo Santo. I travel down to Peru all the time, so I am very connected with Palo Santo, which is the holy wood of Peru. But this is like a tangible way to clear energy, and I think that's easy to like really feel that difference instead of just journaling. I think it's a good pair to have together.
Yeah, flower essences, essential oils, they're all other ways of, you can think of flower essence as this vibration that moves pretty quickly. And when you're ingesting it, it goes through your denser emotions and cleans it out of your system as well. And of course, anything that you want to do with your diet, keeping your diet cleaner, eating more fresh vegetables, eating more fibers, drinking more juices, whatever you need to do to really love on and nourish your body, give your body the right nutrients that it needs so it has the energy to release what it needs to let go of.
Right, and I think a big one for me, especially when we're working with grief in the lungs and large intestine, is drinking a lot of water. Water signifies joy in Chinese medicine. So when we're drinking a lot of water, we're bringing a lot of joy consciousness in on a cellular level. So it's going to help flush out these denser energies and allow you to like reconnect into that heart space.
Yeah, and we don't live in these like logical, linear, perfect worlds. So it's like this is something you're just going to, when you have some space, go through the process. Like we're gonna lay out this linear path for you, and sometimes that path isn't gonna fit for you in that moment. So just listen to your body and allow yourself to go through what is ripe and appropriate for that time. So once you've cleaned out your inner world, and you can do this simultaneously, we also wanna take some time to clean up and release things that aren't serving us in our outer world.
Right, so this is as simple as going through your clothes. One of this sounds probably a little goofy or a little silly, but one of the most life-changing things that I did was clean out my silverware drawer. It didn't have one of those nice containers, and it was just a big mess. And I was living at my dad's house at the time, and what was fascinating is it had all of his beer caps in it, right? So when he would drink a beer at night, he would open it up, and then the thing would just fall in. And for me, once I cleaned out that silverware drawer, my outer world just blew up, right? That's when I started working at the Bija. So I changed offices. I met Sam, and it may sound silly, but I really do credit that for cleaning out my silverware drawer, because I made enough room. I organized, I connected in, and it's no, I deserve order and nice things. And it was literally what, $5 for the drawer, organizer, and 5 minutes of my time.
Yeah, the interesting thing about the physical items in our world, every single thing has a soul, and sometimes there are energetic attachments or psychic energy that is associated with that physical item. And so if that's a physical item that feels dense and it doesn't feel good for your system anymore, either you're gonna have to clear it a lot with Palo Santo or sage, or it's something that you need to take out and release out of your home. Someone else will have a completely different story around what that is. I also have this thing where, a book has a purpose and it needs to do what it needs to do. If it's in your shelf and you're not reading it anymore, then maybe it's time for it to go on its journey and serve its purpose somewhere else. And so that's one of the things that really lightens up your field, is giving every single item in your home and your space a purpose.
Right. And loving every single part of your home, right? When I go through my closet, I have 5-10 sweaters for the whole year, but I love those 5 sweaters. Every time I wear them, I feel good about myself. I feel like I'm presenting myself and bringing me out to the world. So it's not about the quantity, but it's how does it make you feel?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and so taking time to clean up your car, because your car is this image that when other people see it, they have this energy around, oh, this person is probably like this, and they're not thinking about that consciously, but it's just this immediate response that kind of happens, you know? And so when you take time to take care of your clothes and your house and your kitchen, and like I said, like your car, or even like your notebooks, making things like more organized, because really we only have so much energy as humans. And so the less that you have to think about, oh, where was that thing? Where was that thing? The more energy you have to be focused on what is in the present moment and what needs to be done now.
Right, and our outer world is just an inner, like a reflection of our inner world, right? And so like I can even see this as like when I start to get stressed, like all of a sudden like there's a little bit more stuff in my car, right? Like a little bit more clutter, and I'm like, that is what I feel like on the inside, right? So it's just like really being conscious of that and being able to like look outside and be like, okay, what's going on in the inside? So these two things, as we talk about inner world and outer world, they really are the same.
And then if you want to go even a step deeper, is just looking at, are there any toxic chemicals in your home? Are there any, cleaning products that really aren't green anymore? Like those things, you'll be breathing it in. It's going to be in your body somewhere. And so it's really important to take those things out of your home and have green products as much as possible. If not just all green products, I would really, because it's like you have the lungs of the planet and the lungs of you, and they mirror each other back and forth. And when you take extra time to, do things that love on the planet, you're really loving on yourself as well.
Yeah, that just like brings like this concept into that bigger world view, and that's how we change the world.
Yeah, and then I'm also going to bring in clothes, because there's so much clothes that's made from like sweatshops that we're maybe not aware of. And there's also lots of toxins that are usually embedded in clothes. And so when you can take time to find more eco-friendly, more eco-conscious clothes, like I have a huge passion that I believe that will start to change the world in a really big way, because we're wearing that energy on our bodies. And so if that energy came from a space that's not great, we're holding it on our bodies all day long. They say even after the 98th wash of like inorganic underwear, there's still toxins that are emitted out of the underwear. And so you can think about, okay, Pact, that's one brand, that's an organic underwear brand, and I'm sure there's other ones now coming out too. But the more that we vote with our energy, the more that we're like, this is what I want in my life. Like all of that is about purifying, all of that is about this module, about your lungs, large intestines, as that we as a community, we as a people of the planet, we can take these little actions and like allow that to amplify for the whole globe.
Right. And I think it's just like, it's all about also like self-respect, right? If you're wearing toxic underwear, where is that leaching into, right? Your sacred space. So it's just so important.
And then, so just coming back to that inner world, also thinking about the words that you're saying. Is this a word that really lights up your system, or do you feel contracted when you're saying it? And sometimes you can say a cuss word, but you feel really lit up and excited, and that's totally fine. I'm just having you kind of be more aware of how are you feeling with the words that you're using. And if you're not feeling super high, then you might want to Google online and find some really high vibe words and practice using them and see how that feels in your world. Great. So that's the end of this video. We have some awesome worksheets for you to work through, and just have fun with this. This isn't meant to be like hard or controlling. It's really meant to be a joyful process. And if at one time you can only do one little drawer, just do one little drawer. Like whatever you can do, like that's going to be awesome. And again, it's like, make it like you're painting your world. You're the artist of your world. You get to decide what you want to work on and when you want to work on it.
Right, and I think I know that all this information is so overwhelming, and we're really we're shifting the paradigm of consciousness, right? You're never going to look at your closet the same way. So it's really important just to be like, today, I'm just going to do this one thing, and that's going to make you feel so much better. This isn't like, oh, I had to buy a new house, right? Yeah. And give away everything. It's not like that. It's like those baby steps, and it's amazing what that will do for your vibration.
It's really about loving on everything that is. Yay, great. We're so excited. Thank you so much for being here, and we will see you in the next video.